Pompeii, a city once full of life, laughter, wealth, and ambition until Mount Vesuvius erased it in a single catastrophic eruption. Today, you have a chance to travel back in time to Pompeii exactly one day before the tragedy. You will live a single day as a noblewoman of this ancient city. You will walk its streets, breathe its air, follow its rituals, and hour by hour. You will witness the unfolding disaster and perhaps even try to escape it. You wake up on October 24th, 79 AD, exactly one day before the tragedy. For a long time, historians and archaeologists did not know the precise date of Pompeii's destruction. But in 2022, newly re-examined garments, preserved in ash, letters, and even food, remains led researchers to conclude that the catastrophic events most likely began on this very day. It is around 8 a.m. Nothing yet suggests disaster. Only faint tremors beneath the floor briefly disturb your sleep. You ask your servants whether everything is all right, and they reassure you. It is nothing unusual, just a minor earthquake, something typical for this region. Your morning begins with beauty rituals, which were incredibly important in Roman society. Your husband has likely already gone to the barber to have his beard carefully trimmed. Appearance matters. Meanwhile, your servants help you arrange your hair into an elaborate high hairstyle, woven with golden ribbons and delicate ornaments. The most fashionable hair colour for women at that time is reddish blonde, a shade achieved through herbal mixtures and natural dyes. Your face must be pale, almost porcelain white, to meet the standards of beauty. So, a mixture of chalk and animal fat is gently applied to your skin. Beauty, after all, requires effort. Now it is time to choose the appropriate outfit. Clothing in Pompeii followed a clear social code. A curious detail: when entering a home, guests would remove their shoes, and slaves would bring sandals belonging to the host, something like ancient house slippers. Even sleepwear already existed, simple garments worn at night and changed in the morning for day attire. The tunic is the basic garment for both men and women. Over it, a toga or stola is worn, a visible symbol of social status. In the streets of the city, it is immediately clear who belongs to which class. You were fortunate enough to be born into a wealthy family, but among the approximately 20,000 inhabitants of Pompeii, only about 12,000 were free citizens. Nearly 8,000 were enslaved. After dressing, it is time for breakfast. And what would you eat? In Pompeii, breakfast was usually taken standing, which already feels surprising to us today. You are served bread, rubbed with garlic or sprinkled with salt, along with a little cheese, honey, and fresh fruit. Simple, but nourishing. Now, you leave your private chambers and step into the inner courtyard of your luxurious home. Pompeian houses were designed in a unique way. At the center stood the atrium, an open space without a roof. In the middle of it was a small pool or fountain used to collect rainwater. And although this seems ancient to us, Roman engineering was highly advanced. The city had drinking fountains, sewage systems, and even aqueducts supplying fresh water. You greet your children and send them off to their lessons. Yes, even nearly 2,000 years ago, a mother's routine was not so different. Young children, under the age of 7, were usually taught at home, either by their parents or by private tutors, if the family could afford one. They learned reading, writing, arithmetic, and music. From around the age of 7 to 12, children attended school. After that, they were considered almost adults. Boys began military training, while girls prepared for marriage. Now you are free to attend to your own affairs. Women from poorer families would spend the entire day managing the household themselves. But you are a noblewoman, and your position grants you more freedom. Compared to women in Greece, for example, you have more rights. You can own property, manage your own money, and if you are ambitious, you can even run a business. In Pompeii, there once lived a wealthy woman named Julia Felix, who owned bathhouses and rented out rooms to travelers. The only thing you cannot do as a woman is vote. So, if you decide today to walk to the Forum, the central square of the city, where men gather to make political decisions and negotiate financial deals. Do not expect to be heard. You step outside. The stone streets of Pompeii are alive with movement and sound. Passers-by discuss the latest news. Merchants call out to customers. Polished ceramics and fine pottery gleam in shop windows. From the Thermopolium, what we would call a street food shop, drifts the warm aroma of freshly baked bread. Bread is a staple here, often eaten with wine and cold meats. Archaeologists have even discovered a carbonized loaf preserved inside one of the city's ovens. And on ancient frescoes, they found an image of a flat dish that looks surprisingly similar to what we today call pizza. You make your way to the baths. The thermae are not simply a place to wash. They are one of the main centres of social life. Romans, including the citizens of Pompeii, preferred to perform most of their daily hygiene routines together. Privacy was not particularly valued in this regard. For example, private toilets were far less popular than large communal rooms with rows of stone seats. Men would gather there not only to relieve themselves, but also to talk and exchange news. In the centre of such a room, there was usually a basin filled with water and shared sponges attached to sticks, used for cleaning. So, if you are modest by nature, perhaps today is not the best day to visit the restroom. The bath complex itself includes hot, warm, and cold pools, shaded porticos, gardens, gymnasiums, and even a library. Even today, not every five-star hotel could boast such variety. Now, it is time for entertainment. What did the citizens of Pompeii love most, aside from men visiting brothels? Of course, gladiator games. You head toward the amphitheatre of Pompeii, a grand structure comparable to a modern arena, capable of holding up to 20,000 spectators. But remember, gladiatorial combat is brutal. Defeat often means death. And yet, for the victor, it could mean freedom. The chance for a slave to become a free man. Perhaps even a professional soldier, maybe even to earn wealth and status. So, despite the violence, the crowd roars, thumbs turn downward or upward. And if you haven't yet given this video a thumbs up, what are you waiting for? If bloodshed is not to your taste, you can visit one of the city's two theatres instead. The Teatro Grande holds around 5,000 spectators, while the Odeon, smaller and roofed, seats about 1,000 and hosts concerts and solo performances. There is no doubt, social life in this city is thriving. Evening begins to fall, and it is time to return home. The most important family moment of the day is the shared dinner. In wealthy households like yours, it takes place in a special room called the triclinium, arranged with 3 long couches where the hosts and their guests recline while eating and talking unhurriedly. But let me warn you about a few details, so you are not surprised. The people of Pompeii eat with their hands. Forks do not yet exist. Do not worry though. A slave stands nearby at all times, ready to pour water from a jug over your fingers whenever needed. At least 7 courses await you: appetizers, 3 main dishes, 2 roasted courses, and dessert. A true feast. Honeyed wine called mulsum is served along with wine grown right here at the foot of your formidable volcano, Mount Vesuvius. You take your place at the table around 7 p.m. Beneath your feet, you feel a faint tremor. In the distance, a low rumble echoes from the mountain. You try to dismiss it. It is only nature, perhaps even the playful moods of the Roman gods. For you, Vesuvius is sacred. It is considered the protector of the city. Surely it would never harm you. But gradually, through the windows, you begin to notice dull flashes on the summit. The volcano glows with red bursts of light. Around midnight, a rain of dark ash begins to fall, blotting out the moon. Stones and pumice are hurled from the crater onto the city. By morning, Pompeii no longer sees the sun. You and your family rush toward the harbour, desperate to board a ship. By fortune, you succeed. Many vessels are already burning or damaged. Some of your neighbours choose to remain in their homes and wait. You will never see them alive again. Near the coast, you spot a ship whose captain exchanges signals with yours. It belongs to Pliny the Elder and his nephew, Pliny the Younger, the young man who will later write the account of this catastrophe that becomes one of the main historical sources. You are not the only ones who escape. Of the nearly 20,000 inhabitants, around 18,000 managed to survive by fleeing, hiding, or sailing away as far as possible. From the deck of your ship, you watch your city, your entire life, collapse into smoke and ash. You cannot sleep through the night. At 7 a.m, Vesuvius delivers its final, deadly blow to those who believed they could survive behind the city walls. The volcano releases a massive surge of pyroclastic material and gases that had been building for centuries. A cloud of death descends upon the city. The temperature of these gases reaches nearly 250 degrees Celsius, so intense that many die almost instantly. During excavations, scientists even discovered that the extreme heat caused the brains of some victims to vitrify, to crystallize under the temperature shock. The bodies, covered in ash, slowly decomposed over time, leaving hollow cavities in the hardened layers. Centuries later, archaeologists filled those voids with plaster, allowing us to see their final moments, their postures, their fear, their humanity. Gradually, your city disappears beneath the ash, even the rooftops vanish. Later, scientists will determine that the layer reached nearly 6 meters deep. You attempt to sail toward neighboring towns to begin again, but Herculaneum, Stabiae, and other places you once admired have also turned into silent graves. You have lost everything, but you are alive. For a long time, it was believed that the survivors of Pompeii and the nearby towns abandoned these places forever. But later discoveries suggest that some people did try to return, to recover pieces of their former lives, to search for belongings, perhaps for valuables. And of course, there were looters who came hoping to profit from the gold and treasures left behind. Yet gradually, the ruins were deserted completely. The city slipped into silence, and into oblivion for nearly 1,500 years. The first recorded mention of the buried city dates back to 1592, during the construction of the Sano Canal, which was meant to cross the area of ancient Pompeii. Workers uncovered parts of an amphitheatre and the Temple of Isis near the Forum, but at that time, no one understood the true scale of what lay beneath. The full rediscovery began in 1748, when archaeological excavations were initiated by Charles III of Spain, then King of Naples. And to this day, excavations of this ancient city continue. A few years ago, I had the chance to visit Pompeii and Mount Vesuvius myself. They left a profound impression on me. Because when you stand there among the ruins, the main thought that comes to your mind is this: how fragile human life is in the face of nature's power. And what if this volcano were to awaken again? If you have ever been to Pompeii, tell me, what did you feel standing among the ruins of what was once one of the most beautiful cities of the Roman Empire? And where should we travel next on our journey through time? I'll see you in the next video.